Adam, I'd like to start this off by saying a big congratulations from everyone at Stockton Town Football Club for reaching 400 appearances. You are the record appearance holder for the club. So hearing that, how does that make you feel?
Yeah, it makes me feel proud. Obviously, been a long time. I think it's been 10, 11 years. It's been spread over. So yeah, I've never really been counting. But then when I realised I was close to 400, it took me back a little bit. But yeah, I can't say much more than being proud of it. Yeah.
Strangest of circumstances as well, because it was the final game before we've gone into this lockdown as well.
I know. There was a few games. I think that looking at it as I was leading up to it, when I found out it was going to be, I think it was supposed to be Hebburn, and Hebburn got cancelled. Then it was supposed to be Penrith, and that got called off waterlogged. And then I was in isolation for missed two games in isolation. I thought it's never going to happen this, but luckily got me spot at Rye up, and we got the points. That's the biggest thing.
And obviously, you discussed the postponements as well. Did you kind of think, obviously, a potential lockdown was looming? Did you kind of think you were going to be stuck on that 399?
When I was sat in isolation, I did, yeah. Just watching the lads, thinking I'll never get out of this here. And then I heard about the lockdown, and I didn't know if the Tuesday game would be on because we were going into lockdown on the Wednesday or something, I think. Yeah. So it was all sorts of thoughts, but we got there in the end. I can just move on now, and we can hopefully keep that run going after lockdown.
It's a bit of a broad question, Adam, but what's it been like playing for this football club?
It's been good, yeah. It's I can't ask for much more. I couldn't picture myself playing for anyone else over the period. Obviously, it started off. I was only 16, 17. We came from. I was at Stockton Town, or it was Heartburn Juniors as a kid from 7 to 11. And then I moved to Norton and Stockton Ancients, and done 11 to 16 at Norton. And then our manager then brought us back to Stockton Town at 16, 17, which was the under 18 league at that time. And Franksy, who's just actually signed back for us, he coached that team with Matty Stockburn on the under 18. So I was playing under 18s on a Sunday and Teesside League on a Saturday. So it's a bit of a contrast in levels and also physicality, you could say. But yeah, it's we're on a bit of a journey over the last 10 years, and it's been a bit mental at times, but overall it's been excellent. The trophies we've won, the leagues we've won, and it's not over yet.
Did you ever imagine, back when you made your first team debut as a teenager, that you'd be sat here today having played your 400th game for the club?
No, not at all. To be honest, I didn't really take it as seriously. When I was a young lad, I knew the level that we were at, and I was playing with my pals really. And then obviously the Teesside League. We came out of the Teesside League into the Wearside League, and it just rolled on from there. Kind of it just happened. There's no real it was no real plan with it. It just one thing just led to another, and it just kept on rolling on. And the more successful we were, the more it made me want to win and want to stay with the club, to grow the club. And when you see where we were playing on Beats Field, then we got the development, and then there's just different stages all the way throughout. So yeah, it's been great.
So the progression of the club during your time there, it must be amazing to see.
It is, yeah. I think there's the core with, Mark Ealaby, who's obviously our chairman, puts a lot of time into the club. From when I first started, he was running the Teesside League team, doing everything, filling water bottles up, team sheets, you name it, from the Teesside League. It's good now that he's been able to take a little step back, but yeah, the club's just grown leaps and bounds over the last since I started over the last 10 years. I'd say I wouldn't have at the time. We were happy to be in the Teesside League, and then again happy to be in the Weeside League and competing. And then a couple of years later, it was like we need to be in the Northern League, and then the second division wasn't good enough, and now the first division isn't good enough. So it just keeps spiraling, and it's while the club's growing and while the fan base is growing as well. We've just got to enjoy the ride.
I mean, obviously at the moment, obviously not right now, but a few weeks ago you were limited to 150 fans, which was disappointing because of the support you got towards the back end of last season and throughout. Have you got a little word for them? Because it must be tough for them having to. I mean, they're watching games on the stream, but it must be tough for them not being able to get to games.
Yeah, it's hard. We're being restricted in ways that we really never thought we would be. Looking at last season, we were taking 200-300 to away games last season. I think we went to Bridlington and a couple of FA Cup and FA Vars games where we were taking 3 or 4 buses. I was thinking like, where's this gone? Where's this come from? But like home games last season as well, we were getting 600 on a standard game. I think we got nearly 1,000 on Boxing Day against Thornaby. It was a big crowd for a couple of big games against Hebburn and what have you. But it just keeps growing, and I just hope that they can stick with us. I know it's frustrating because they can't get in, and certain people who didn't buy season tickets, and the season tickets have been frozen because we've sold more than what we're allowed. And I just hope that they just stick with us and do as much as they can off the field for the club, because we're trying our hardest on the pitch to get to the level where we're at last season, and to push on and try and get promotion. Sorry, so we need them to stick with us, and as soon as them gates are open, I'm sure they'll all become flooding back.
I think that's the key as well, that we do want them to stick with us. I know it's difficult. They can't get into the game. They can't obviously pay on the gate to get into home games. But it's crucial they stick behind the team, isn't it? Until obviously nobody knows when this pandemic's going to pass. But how crucial is it to just stick with us, and there will be an end in sight?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. We've even just support on social media and then type of things. It's as much as they can do from home, and we don't really know when we're going to be out of it. Hopefully, we're going to be back in December, but how long these restrictions are going to be, we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen in the new year, and obviously it affects the club's income stream massively. So we've just got to try and roll with it, and do as much as they've got to do as much as they can off the field for the club, to support. I know they're doing things like the monthly draw and things like that to try and engage the fans, to try and have a little bit of cash flow coming through, because that is ultimately it. Without the fans, the club is nothing really. At first team level, obviously we've got a great junior setup, and a great facility, but it's all been closed down at the moment. So yeah, we've just got to ask the fans to stick with us, and I just hope that day that the gates can open, we can fill the ground, and we'll see 1,000 of them there, chanting in the shed, I'm sure. But we'll just have to wait.
Let's talk about your career with Stockton. You made your debut against Acklam Steelworks in the Teesside League as a young boy. Can you remember that?
I can remember parts. I think I played left back, which was a bit questionable at the time, but I can't remember it in full. No, I'll be honest. But I do remember being playing left, being being a left back left back. And when they read the name out in the changing room, and he said left back number 3, and I was like, is he sure? But it was, you've just got to roll. I was just happy to be involved at that stage. But no, I can't really remember much of the game. I can remember some things from that season where I was as a centre half in 16, 17-year-old. I've always been tall. I've never really had much competition in the air in junior football. But then there was strikers in the Teesside League who were 5'6", 5'8", and they were absolutely bullying me in the air because they were jumping at different times and getting involved and elbowing us. And I was like, I've never really had that before, you know. But that was like a bit of a rude awakening to men's football at a young age. And they're the things you remember and take with you.
And then the club moved to the Wearside League, and you won the league title for 4 years in a row. Before you got that promotion, how frustrating was it that you had won the league, but you couldn't go for one reason or another?
It was unbelievable. It was the first year we had. I think the first year when we found out that we wouldn't be able to take promotion, because I think it was a 31st of March deadline for the ground grading. So when we got into March, we knew that we had a real good chance of winning the league or being in. I think it was only top. I think it was a top one. I think it was only one club went up. And I'll never forget that same week, year after year, was finding out what actually happened and what went wrong and it was just one thing after another. So it was so frustrating, but we built on that. We built on it the first year again, and to stick with it and go. And Marty said, look, it's going to be sorted for next year. We've got a plan B. It's going to be sorted. And then we all stuck together and got through it. And then that final year when it fell through again, that was the worst. That was definitely the worst. But again, we all stuck together, and I think we're better for it. I look back now and I think if we did go up that first year, we won the league, we probably weren't ready. And I've tried to take that looking back. I look at that spin. Every year we did stay in the Wearside League, we got stronger. And then that finally meant that when we did get the new development, we did move up into the second division and take that promotion. We were only there for 1 year. Now we may have took that promotion 3-4 years earlier and been a second division Northern League team for 4 or 5 years. But we built that momentum by winning and needing to win to go up. And we just took that mindset on and only added a couple of players each year, and we reaped our rewards in the long term.
Especially that season when you went up in your first season in Division 2, you kind of surprised neutral fans, other clubs, but obviously just speaking to you just before, I'm guessing that wasn't a surprise to you, the other players, the staff at the club?
No, not at all, really. We knew internally, we knew that we could compete in that league, without a doubt. We knew the level that we were at was too good for the Wearside League. Purely, we had a few good Durham Cup runs and played some teams from high above the first division, second division teams. I thought we're not far away yet. We fancy ourselves, and then to the external, our target for the start of the second division season was to be in the top 10 by Christmas. We knew that wasn't unrealistic. We knew we could compete, but without playing a Northern League game, we were still a little bit unsure. And it got to Christmas and we were top. So it was a case of let's go and win it, and we did. And credit to the boys, they were outstanding. So it's about as good as it gets, really.
Was there, during that season, was there any stand-up moments where you felt that promotion and then the league title was going to be yours, as if your name was on the trophy? You ended up winning it at a canter, but was there any moments where you thought, yeah, this is our season?
There was we played Billingham Town. Played Billingham Town at home, and they were flying at the time, beating everyone. And I think they were up there. There was us, Team North, Sinners, and Billy Town. And I think Blythe FC, EFC or whatever, Blythe FC were in the league at the time as well. And they came to our place, and it was a big derby day, a big crowding, and we beat them 4-0. And I think that was a bit of a realisation where we were on form and we were firing, and we fancied ourselves against anyone. They were the form side, beating everyone, and we just went on from there. And we went on I can't remember the stats, but we went on an unbelievable run, and I'm sure it was about 20 odd games unbeaten or something like that. And we just went on from there, and it was just big game after big game. We just kept on winning, and then I think we won the league at home, but there was a game away at Blythe, just before we won the title, where I think we were getting beat at one point. We came back to win 3-2, I think it was, and that just set it up. I think we needed a point against Horden or something on the Saturday, so it was excellent.
So the game where you did clinch the league title, you scored the winning goal. It was against Team Northumbria, so yeah. That must have been some moment, not just for you but for the team, to just clinch that league title.
Yeah, it was a bit of a 6-pointer, really. I think we knew that we were promoted. I'm not sure if Team North were or not at that point, but I think that they were our closest rival, and it was a tight game. We went 1-0 up. They equalised, and then I scored. It's like weird. It was a strange goal. Like, it came over from I think it was from a free kick, and the first challenge just went up in the air, just went straight up in the air. And the keeper came out, and I challenged the keeper and scored, and ended up being the winning goal. So the league weren't even there to give us a trophy, I don't think. So they give it. One of the fans had like an inflatable trophy. So we had like the champions and the inflatable trophy on the pitch, and but yeah, it was a great day, a great memory. Yeah.
And obviously you won it at the first time of asking, so not many teams get promoted from the Northern Alliance or the Wearside League or the Teesside League or whatever, and then go on to win the Northern League Division 2 title in their first season there. So even now it's still talked about as a huge achievement. So what my question is, what sort of achievement is it? Is it still up there for you in one of the best moments in your career?
Yeah, definitely. We got beat that season on penalties in the League Cup, which puts a little bit of a downer on that season for us. As good as the league was, but I don't like getting beat in them situations, especially in cup finals. But yeah, that the league win in our third in the second division was a huge achievement. Obviously, it's the silverware we won in the Wearside League was massive at the time, but you kind of just grow with it. So at the time, the Wearside League, winning the league, was a massive thing. Then we won the treble the year after, and that was the biggest thing. And we quadrupled, I think, the year after that, and that was the biggest thing. But obviously, we were second division, and then the year after that, we ended up at Wembley in the Vars. So we've only really got that first division title now to add to it, which is obviously going to be the next game.
Making that next step up in the non-league pyramid to Division 1, obviously it was going to be another test for the team, but the team's improved season upon season. But do you feel that's the case both on and off the pitch, that the club has grown season upon season as well?
Yeah, definitely. The backroom staff, the catering. If you name it, you walk in that club on a match day now, and it's just so organised. Well, that's because there's so many people involved. Yes, the car is still there, the Martys, the Waynes, etc. They're all still going, but they've got good people around them, helping out. So yeah, it continually grows with the team, and depending on how well the team's doing on the pitch, it'll depend on what requirements for ground grading and also hospitality, etc., will be required. If the team's not doing very well, we're not attracting many fans to the games, then there's no real requirement for hospitality and having 2 rooms open in the club, because we're that full in the main club like I was on Vars days and big league games and stuff. So we've just got to keep running with it and keep adapting to each new situation.
One thing we definitely have to talk about is the FFR's run in the 2017-18 season. If you talk to any teams that have gone all the way to Wembley, whether they've gone on to win it or gone on to finish as runners-up, they always talk about key moments along the way. So what moments along the way in that cup run did you feel that the team had the chance, or it looked likely that you were gonna visit Wembley and play at Wembley?
I honestly, until the semi-final, until Nathan's penalty went in the semi-final, I honestly didn't believe that Wembley was honestly going to happen. You know, it's just every game, even from the first extra preliminary round, when we went to extra time with Concert, and I think Stocko came off the bench, scored a hat-trick, we won 4-3. It was just like an unbelievable comeback. And then it just, like, every single game had its own, like, drama. We had, like, I think it was in the last 32 in January. We played West Auckland. It was 1-1. Referee's gone off injured. One of the West Auckland fans came on and attacked Nathan, started punching Nathan Mulligan. And then, so we had Kev sent off and Nathan sent off. And then we go score in extra time and win the game 2-1. You're like, what's going on? And then we just went on and on and on. It kept on going on. Then we played, I think once it went nationally, I think it was this last 16 in the quarterfinals. We got 2 home draws. We were just getting home draw after home draw. Every single round was a home, which obviously suited us perfect. We played Windsor and Stourport Swifts, and no disrespect to them, but the earlier rounds against the northern teams were a lot more harder games, more contested games. And then we got through with the semi-final and we drew Mask, who bumped us twice already that season. But we just knew that anything could happen on that day, with it being a cup final. Now, yes, cup semi-final, sorry, but it went to 2 legs, and when they both got switched to our ground, and it was just one thing after another. When you look back, you don't really think much of it at the time because it was snowing and everyone's pitches were bad and what have you. But when they switched the game to our 2 games to our ground, and then it's on the day it was blowing gale force winds, blizzards with snow and stuff. It's just like it was just one of those. And then the week after, obviously, you're thinking, well, Mask top side, they've got a week to prepare to put right what was wrong last week. And then when Nathan's penalty goes in the set, they scored early doors, but when Nathan equalised just before half time, that was when I thought, it's happening. It's happening. And the whole run and the whole weekend and everything was just phenomenal.
What sort of feeling was it when that final whistle went?
In the semi-final?
In the second leg?
It was just everything. I think it was a couple of us around us. We just dropped to our knees, and we were just like, we're part exhausted, but absolutely like ecstatic. I think I did an interview on BBC or something after the game, and I hate watching it back because I'm just like, I'm I've just completely lost my mind. Like all the fans are on the pitch, my family are on the pitch. Like I was up on some of my brother's shoulders, or one of my mates' shoulders, singing "We're going to Wembley." It was mad. It was absolutely mad. But yeah, it's something we'll never forget for sure.
What sort of a weekend was that for you? We'll talk about the game itself in a little bit, but what sort of weekend was that for you down in the capital?
Obviously, I don't know what the feeling is like to be a professional, but that was damn near as close as we're going to get to it. The club had it pretty much boxed off for us. It was coached down. We met at the club on the game was a Sunday. We met at the club on the Saturday morning. Coached down on the Saturday. We had all our food prepared for us and what have you. Nice fancy coach. Stopped off halfway. Straight down. I think we stayed in Watford in the hotel. Got there. Went in the spa, the pool, just having a swim and having a bit of crack. Finished there. Went for I think had some food. We were watching the FA Cup final. Man United versus Chelsea on the screen in the bar, and like all the managers sat there having a pint and a burger watching the game, and we're sat there like, oh, we're gonna be there tomorrow. But yeah, so we done that and then went for a walk, and we just couldn't. None of us. We got back to the hotel and we were just like playing cards, and everyone was trying to do their own little thing, trying to settle themselves down, but. And we get to the ground on the morning. It was just unbelievable. It was just absolutely massive. You just can't really put it into context. I've been a couple of times as a fan, but never when I was stood on that pitch looking up and around. It's just absolutely phenomenal.
Just don't realise how.
No, and like you just start in normal grounds. Like I played at Bramall Lane before. And there's a home and away changing room, and that's it really. And we were coming like, oh yeah, we're in like South 4 or something like that. And you're like, there's about 6 or 7 changing rooms in there. It's mental. So, but yeah, the whole experience from the change rooms. They've done the club put a special thing on. They put like a badge on the floor in the changing room, and they've done like a player card for each player in their little section in the changing rooms with a name, a couple of photos and messages from your family on the top of it, which we did, which was a surprise when we walked into changing rooms. It was all just there, so that was unreal. And then we booked a golf course, like a golf bar out at some golf course nearby. We got buses there and back for like an after party type thing, and then we just continued it on the bus on the Monday and came back. Just a shame we never brought the trophy home, but it is what it is.
So just stepping out of the tunnel and seeing the fans across on that far side, did you imagine you'd bring that amount of supporters down, and hearing the chants and hearing how loud they were? Because obviously I was sat in the press box that day, and it was amazing to see how many fans Stockton brought down. Yeah,
it was a big surprise. Obviously, we'd heard that they were selling a lot of tickets, and obviously we knew that I was getting a load of messages to say that their people were on the way down to book the weekend away in London and what have you. But you get quite a few messages for the home games as well, where there was only 1,500 there, you know. So was it 11 o'clock or a midday kickoff in London on a Sunday? People were getting early morning trains, staying the full weekend and all sorts to try and make it work. But yeah, there was a point. I think it wasn't really. We didn't really take it in properly until after the match, and we went over to thank them really, and they give I think it was like a T-Siders chant, and honestly, some of the lads still talk about it today. Like, it was just goosebumps. Like, it was just so loud, and it was amazing. And some of the photos with the crowd, they got a crowd surfer flag and everything. It was excellent. Like, it just shows what we could do and what the club could be. Obviously, I was there when Middlesbrough got the playoff final against Norwich, and it was, the whole stadium was half red, half yellow, and obviously we got beat that day. But the fans and the party in the capital that weekend was unbelievable, and the videos, and everyone keeps saying that, like, that weekend was, will you get the Vase again? One of the silver linings of not being in, of not getting promoted last season was that you get another shot at the Vase, and let's just get us there. I want another weekend in London. So yeah, it was phenomenal.
Obviously, the final didn't go our way. There was only one goal in it, but it's like, looking back, there still must be an immense amount of pride for you, for the boys, for the club, for the supporters, that you did go all the way, even though the result didn't go the way you wanted.
Yeah, definitely. It's a huge achievement when you look back. I don't think there'll be. You look at them 3 years from winning the Weeside League, promotion out the Weeside League into the second division, and then within a year to the final at Wembley. I think we finished 6th in the first division that year, and you just think, well, I don't think anyone will ever do that again. It was phenomenal. I don't know much more you can say about it. I remember saying unbelievable about 20 times on that interview with the BBC, but it was just a crazy experience, which I don't think will happen again, but just shows the momentum in football is huge.
Where does the competition rank for you this season? Obviously, the aim is to get out of the league, but you've got potentially one more crack at the FA Vase and one more crack at getting to Wembley at this stage. So where does it rank for you? Because it is a special competition for players at this level.
Yeah, it's massive. Yeah, it's massive. It's right up there. Obviously, just as much as we were frustrated with how the league season finished, or didn't finish, we were frustrated with how the manner that we went out of the Vase last year. We knew on our day that we were capable of beating any team at this level, and we got turned over. And they've done a job on us, to be fair, but we've got a chance to put it right this year. So yeah, it's right up there on the lads' priority list. Obviously, promotion is the main option for the club. That's what we need to do, and we need to take. That's what we're ready for. But I'd be disappointed if we didn't have a very good Vase run this year.
The team were flying last season. On the verge of promotion, potentially on the verge of winning the league title, and then bam, in March the pandemic struck. Can you remember the moment you found out the season was declared null and void, and that you would have to spend another season at this level, even though you were top of the table by so many points? Yeah,
I was working from home, and we'd heard that because the season was so far complete. It was, I think we played 81% of the games or something like that. We had 7 games left or something, and regardless of being 13 points clear wherever we were, we'd heard that it was going to be positive, and they were going to finish the season. Either we looked at the leagues above, and the like all the other leagues apart from the Championship and the Premier League, I think in elite football, finished it on a points per game basis. With there being that little of the season left, but so we had a bit of hope to say that even if we don't take promotion, even if we don't get to play, at least we may well be recognised as if the season finished at 31 games, whatever it was, we may well be recognised for that. But it didn't end up to be. So I was working from home. We got I think it came out found out on Twitter first that it was going to be null and void, and it was just it was just gut wrenching. But we couldn't really do anything about it. And I know there was appeals going on, but it took a couple of days to get over for sure. Well, more than a couple of days, but we kind of come to terms with it. Spoke to Michael quite a few times just to try and put a bit of a plan in place. But again, we didn't really know what was going to happen either way, because we were in the middle of the pandemic. We didn't really know when we were going to get out of lockdown or anything. So it was hard to take forward. But again, we tried to look back to when we received knockbacks in the past, such as the Weeside League days when which we talked about there. We've had it taken away from us 3 years in a row, where we'd won the league, but we couldn't take that promotion. Now the only difference was this year is we didn't actually get that title to celebrate, but we've got to look at it as a positive, to think we've got another year to build a squad and build a team, and improve to be able to make us ready for that step.
But even so, you just didn't. There was for so long, you just didn't know when you were able to get back training, get back for pre-season. You didn't have a start date. So how tough was it to stay mentally focused, even though you didn't have that start date in sight?
Yeah, it was hard. We didn't really know if or when the season was going to start. But I think because of the time that we had off, and obviously we're quite a close-knit group of lads. We've all, barring a couple who've come in over the last year or two, we've all been together for quite a while. So, and any of the lads that we have brought in have been lads who've already knew most of the guys, or played with most of the guys in the past anyway. So we kind of just kept each other ticking over, and it was, I think, we were just dying to get back and have some form of training. And then we were allowed to, I think it was in June. We were end of June, I think. We were allowed to do like groups of 6, 2 meters apart or something. But it was just like it was mad. But it was just quality, just to be back on the pitch. We didn't know whether there's going to be a season. We didn't know whether there was. We didn't have a date, obviously, for that or anything. But it was just good to get the lads back together, even though we're distance. But it was tough. But as soon as we got through to that period, as soon as we got through to the social distance training sessions, which were a bit strange, like, but as soon as we got through to them, it was fine. Once we got back there, we were refocused, and we were ready for whatever was going to come our way.
You've played 12 games, which is almost a third of the season now. Obviously, the season's been halted for hopefully just 4 weeks. You currently sit second in the table. Michael, I was speaking to Michael last week, and he said it was about the same. You're at the same stage as what you were last season. So, despite you being 6 points behind the leaders, are you happy with where the team are at right now, second, and 27 points from 12 games?
Yeah, right now we are. I think we've put a run together now in 9 or 10 games, where I think we've won 7 or 8 of them with a draw 2 in there, and that draw was away to Shildon. So I think obviously I'd have took it at the start of the season, and I take it now. We're, especially with how we've been playing over the last few weeks, we seem to just be back in that mould of just going out there knowing we're going to win these games, and we're going to tough away games, and we're starting to hit our form at home as well. So yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be the second season after such a good season last year, because obviously we weren't. I think we caught a few people by surprise last year with only losing 1 game, and being on the run that we were on. So now we're everyone's cup final now. Everyone wants to beat us. So we've got to get through and win that battle first, and make sure we work hard before our quality comes through, which it usually does. So we've still got we're a long season. Hebben started well last season. I think they were on a similar run in a similar position last season, and then they had a bad spell. They lost 4 or 5 games, and then they couldn't recover. And teams have them. It's Northern League football. That's exactly why everyone's at this level. And if teams go on and win if Hebben go on and win every game to the rest of the season, then fair play to them, they deserve it. But we'll sure be chasing the pack right at the moment. But we're happy with where we are, and we just want to get back. That's a key thing. We're hoping this is only going to be 4 weeks. I think we're back the 5th of December at Thornaby. I think that only now puts a couple of weeks on the end of the season, which takes it to middle of May. So I think it's considering we've lost 2 months of the season, it's going to be pretty manageable. Depends what they do with the cups, mind. But
yeah, so that first month of the season, you had 9 games in that time. Middle to the end of that month, you lost 2 games against RCA and Concert, and then you had that draw against West Auckland, which was just bizarre how we didn't take the 3 points. But then after that Concert defeat in the FA Cup, we've gone on to put a good run together where we've drawn 1 game in that 9. So it must be hugely disappointing that this 4-week break has come where it has.
It is, yeah. We're just banging form at the moment. But again, we can't rest on that. We can't focus on disappointments. We've just got to try and focus on coming back and continuing it as best as we can. Right? Everyone's in this same position, so let's use this 4 weeks. Let's use this 4 weeks to be better than the team we're going to be playing in 4 weeks. So we can only use it mentally and physically as a note for us to get out and do as much as you can on your own, to try to keep that intensity and keep that quality that we were playing with. Yes, it's going to be hard. There's no floodlit areas for you to go after work and have a kick about. It just doesn't work. So everyone's going to be in the same boat. Also, we're just going to have to wait and see. But we'll be ready for it whenever it does happen, I'm sure.
I just want to finish this bit off, this interview off with just reflecting on your career a little bit more. Firstly, I want to talk about the impact Michael Dunwell's had on your career. You've had him for so many years as your manager now. Have you got anything to say about Michael and his influence on your career?
Yeah, he's been top draw for me, to be honest, on and off the field. He came in when we were in the Wearside League. I think it was like a player coach or something at the time. He still fancied himself a bit. He's scored a couple, to be fair, and done all right. But yeah, as soon as he took that step back into management, I think he took over the following season as manager and brought JD in as well as assistant, who's also done a lot for me as well. He's just helped me a lot. He's nothing really seems to so level-headed with it. Nothing really seems to. He never gets too high in the good moments or too low in the bad. He just always brings things back to perspective very, very easily. Doesn't stop him banging the board at half time like in the changing rooms, but before and after the game, he's spot on. Yeah.
Then you had Martin as chairman, also looking off the field now. Just how much an influence was Marty throughout this time, and how supportive has he been of you and the team?
Yeah, he has. He's been there a long time, and the time and effort that he's put into the club over the years is absolutely phenomenal. The hours that he puts in after work, the hours that he misses of work, no doubt to put them hours into the club after meeting with juniors, seniors, sponsors, you name it. He's put a hell of a lot of time into the club now, and we're hopefully giving him some reward for that on the pitch. There's obviously no one more disappointed than him in the summer, but yeah, he's been excellent from all levels of helping out with the Teesside League team, like we're saying, as manager, and through to being chairman now. Obviously, we've been through quite a lot of ups and downs over the years, but I think as a group, with myself, Michael, and Marty, we've come through, and we're better for it now.
From those two days, a lot has changed at the club. But where do you think it is possible for this club to go? We've saw so many teams from the Northern League over the last 5-10 years progress. Do you believe Stockton Town can be another team that clubs look at and think, yeah, we can replicate that, we can go up to step 3, to step 2?
Yeah, I don't see why not over time. I think the club's got a good model. They're trying to do it the right way. We've got a big belief in youth, and a good academy and a good partnership with the college, and a great facility. That's a massive part of it. There's teams up in the higher leagues, Northern Premier, etc. The training in different areas to where they're playing, and lads are travelling from all over just to go there. And we have one facility that we train and play on, and I think Martin always says his little catchphrase is that the club can go as far as the people from Stockton want it to go, and he's got a valid point. He has got a valid point. When we started seeing last season 1,000 people coming through the gate, it means business at this level. You look at the other teams who've had them type of attendances throughout the last 5 years in the Northern League. It creates income streams to allow you to be able to develop the club, develop the team on and off the pitch. So yeah, I think as long as we keep on this same path, time will tell.
Just one final question. 400 appearances. What's your next target? Can you see yourself playing another 100, 150?
I'll take 500 for now, and we'll go from there. But no, I don't have any plans to stop playing or to go elsewhere at the moment. I'm still 27, so I feel like I've got a lot more to give. So we'll see how these. We just need to get back playing. I'm no good sat in my room on a Wednesday night. I know where I'd rather be. But yeah, I don't have any intentions of stopping anytime soon. So yeah, it'll be hopefully in a couple of seasons' time we'll be having the same conversation about 500.
Definitely. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time out to come and sit on this Zoom call. Obviously, we couldn't due to the pandemic, but I really appreciate you coming on and taking the time to speak, Adam.
No problem. Thanks, mate.